Hey guys, today I'm about to share with you the blueprint on how to become wealthy. Today I'm not just sharing good advice, I'm sharing godly advice. And the reason why you can trust in my source is because I'm about to share with you a blueprint that was written by the wealthiest and the wisest man who ever lived. It only makes good sense that if you want to become wealthy, you will go and ask somebody who's already rich. This advice that I'm about to share with you was written by the wealthiest man who ever walked this earth, and his name is Solomon. It is found in the book of Proverbs. Proverbs is a collection of a code on how to live successfully. But if you can just read Proverbs and implement what it is that Solomon shares, I guarantee you that you will become wealthy and you will live to become wealthy to the third and the fourth generation. Today, I'll share with you just two proverbs. Proverbs, there are hundreds and thousands of proverbs, but today I'll share with you just two about wealth and how to get it. The first thing is this. So Solomon was a good observer of human nature. He used to observe human beings and then get wisdom from there, either to warn us or to advise us, those who are coming after. Proverbs 14:20, it says this: the poor man is hated even by his own neighbor. That will mean that not only people hate him, but even his own neighbor hates him. And how bad is that? While the rich man has many friends. And here Solomon contrasts two people that not just because they have good personality or they are kind or they are loving, just because of their wealth, they are either hated or they are loved by people. And so here Solomon says that man, it is a good thing to desire to be rich. Poverty has no dignity. Poverty has no piety. Proverbs 14:23, the blueprint, it says this: in all labor, there is profit. In all labor, not in some labor, in all labor, there is profit. But mere talk leads only to poverty. But just talking leads only to poverty. And Solomon here was brilliant. Proverbs, the wisdom of Proverbs is not found on the surface. On the surface, it looks so simple, but the wisdom is found deep within the proverb. As you begin to chew on it, as you begin to ruminate on it like a ruminant, then you begin to enjoy the juice that is contained therein. The same as eating a sugar cane. You break off piece by piece as you read a proverb, and then you chew it, and the juice lies deep within it. He says this: in all labor. That will mean in all business. Some people say, maybe I want to join the matatu business or real estate or to become a politician. That's where there is money. But Solomon here says in all labor, not in some business, in every business, there is profit. But the only condition is this, that labor comes with it. That where there is labor, then there is profit. But mere talk is cheap. Everybody can afford it. Everybody can afford to talk. But where the men are separated from the boys is where it gets to rolling up their sleeves and getting down to work. Solomon says, don't just be a talker, but be a doer. Do what you say. Preach wine and drink wine. That if you do what you promise, if you do what you say, then that will lead to profit. But mere talk, everybody can afford it. It reminds me of a story. A certain young man, he walks into a wedding. And on this long table, he finds three of the wealthiest men in the world. Bill Gates Sr., Bill Gates' father, Bill Gates, and Warren Buffett. And he walks up to this table, and because he's mesmerized, he asks them one, he tells them, you three gentlemen, what is the one piece of advice that you will give a young man like me who's just about to start their business? What is that one thing that you'll advise me to do? And like clockwork, the three men, they turn and they look at him and tell him one word: focus. The difference between me and you and Warren Buffett or Bill Gates is just one word: focus. Ability to stay on one thing until it succeeds. What is that one thing? What is that one thing that you're doing that you have decided that I will stick with this thing until it succeeds? That is what makes wealth. Wealth is not made by jumping up and down, trying every Tom, Dick, and Harry. Wealth is made by focus, choosing one thing and sticking with it until you succeed. So today, as we were driving home, Gathoni shared with me an excerpt from a book that she's reading, which is called The Millionaire Mindset. And here she told me that the people who want to become rich, they are normally in three categories. Yeah. So number one are those people who want to become wealthy, the wanters or the wishers. The Englishman said this, that if wishes were horses, then beggars would ride. Everybody will become wealthy. If wealth was just made by wishing or mere wanting, then everybody will become rich. And this is where majority of the people are. We are all wanters and wishers. I want to become wealthy. I wish to become wealthy. And it just stops there. Solomon warns and says, but mere talk, Everybody can want, everybody can wish. Even beggars do wish. Leads only to poverty. But labor, all labor there is profit. The second category of people are those who choose to become wealthy. This is the second best category. These are people who say, you know what? I've experienced poverty. I don't like poverty. I hate poverty. Now I'm choosing, I'm making a decision to turn to the road to becoming wealthy. And that's where they stop. They stop at the decision. They just choose. They just say, you know what? This is the road to poverty. I will avoid it. I will walk on the way of wealth. But then you know what? They just stop at that. They just stop at merely talking. It is cheap, idle chatter. They just stop at the decision. This is better than wanting or wishing, but it's not the best. Now, the third category, the 1%, the holy grail, are those people who commit to becoming wealthy. Number one, they want to become wealthy. Number two, they choose to become wealthy. Number three, where I want all of us at the end of this video to go to, those people who commit to becoming wealthy. What does committing mean? What does committing look like? Committing basically says this, that I am willing and I commit myself to do whatever it takes for as long as it takes for me to become wealthy. But what Solomon says, in all labor there is profit. There are two aspects to this word labor. Number one is this, are you willing to do whatever it takes? It's going to take a lot of hard work, a lot of it, much, much more than you can imagine. I know a lot of wealthy people. And one of the things that I can say about them is that these people really, really work hard. Number two, are you willing to let go of all your excuses? Are you willing to blame no one for it? Someone once told me that, Ben, you can only blame your background until you're 30. After the age of 30, you yourself become the background. Do not take any excuses, blame nobody. Take every opportunity and take every excuse upon yourself that I commit to doing whatever it takes for me to becoming wealthy. The second part of labor is this, for as long as it takes. Because one of the things that these three men had, they all had white hair, that it's going to take a long time for you to become wealthy. I think we have been mesmerized by these magicians online who all of a sudden is a young millionaire, a young billionaire with flashy cars and this flashy lifestyle. And we desire that and imagine that that is what wealth looks like. But someone told me this, wealth is normally old money. Wealth is normally money that you get as you're getting old, because it will take your whole life to work hard for it. And one of the things that I've come to appreciate is this, is that wealth takes time. And the longer that you take to make the wealth, then the longer it is you're going to keep it. Most of these people who get it through get-rich-quick schemes, through corruption, through cheating their way through, they lose it as fast. I'm talking about generational wealth. Do you commit to becoming wealthy? Do you commit to it? Or do you just wish and talk about it? Are you actually committing to it? And if you are, then I want you to repeat these words after me. I commit to being wealthy. I commit to being wealthy. I commit to doing all that it takes for as long as it takes for me to become wealthy. Till next time, guys, God bless.